Yo, what is going on YouTube? It is your boy GZTV back with another video, and we are here with Euphoria Season 3 Episode 7. This is the second to last, penultimate, as a lot of critics like to call it. I mean, that is the term for it. We have Euphoria, man. I mean, Episode 7. Holy shit, an hour and 20 minutes of craziness. There's only one episode left. It is so insane to kind of be on this journey again for the last, 7 years. Real consequences are finally hitting the show. I'm going to kind of give you guys my opening thoughts here, and then we can kind of get character by character, plot line by plot line. That's kind of my structure. I don't really critique it too much. Nate dying honestly didn't shock me that much. Obviously, spoiler alert, holy shit. Nate died. I mean, you should be following the show. You should know that Nate is fucking dead before you watch this video, because what's the fucking point of that? But I know there's some people that like to complain about that kind of thing. I mean, let's be real with Nate. A deadbeat like him was probably never making it out of this season clean anyways. I would even go on Twitter and see all these forums talking about the show, and people are like, yeah, Nate's probably not going to survive, and he meets his fate here. I mean, it did surprise me how he died, obviously, kind of the circumstances and how they kind of handled his character and closed it out. It obviously wasn't heroic or foolishly heroic. It wasn't even that. It wasn't some Scarface Kingpin ending, which honestly, I might have thought they were going to give him. I thought they were going to feed into the alpha male energy and give him this crazy ending, but it was pathetic. I do think that fits his character, though. Nate is a pretty fucking pathetic character, so I think it's fine. And just kind of expanding on Nate's death, the reason Nate's death actually works is because he suffered. He was sitting there, not suffocating, but he was kind of getting dehydrated. He was starving, all that stuff. The elements were getting to him. I'm sure it was hot as shit out in that desert. That's way worse than just getting instantly executed. It'd be one thing for him to be down on his knee and someone shoots him in the head, Hank Schrader style or something. Now that's more of an honorable death. Here it's grimy. He gets fucked up. And it's funny because the irony of it all is that he doesn't even die because of him being trapped and dehydrated. He gets bit by a fucking snake. Dude was literally buried alive while people like his brother are unknowingly walking around above him. I think that's pretty horrifying. I think that's a pretty horrifying way to go out. And when they finally excavated his body after that whole shootout, that was quite a gruesome scene, I'm not gonna lie. It was one of the last scenes of the episode. The entire standoff with Nas and Arthur was awesome. Of course, leading up to that, we get a lot more Nas, Arthur, and Alamo, excuse me. We obviously see a lot more of the badass cowboy western style shit that this show and the series is going with Sam Levinson at the helm here. It's western vibes. It's classic hostile shootout energy. It's No Country for Old Men. It's Hateful Eight. It's maybe even Yellowstone in there. I don't know. There's all sorts of these different type of movies. I don't watch too many westerns, but you can feel it there. It's probably my favorite scene in the whole episode. I do love the shootout. I do love the intensity of it. And just getting into the music and getting into the style here, because I do think Levinson and the crew definitely dive into it a little bit more here. Music is really fucking good. I really like the soundtrack that they kind of used. It's not really a soundtrack because it's only one episode. The allotment of tracks. Some of the stuff, the Steely Dan, there's all sorts of different songs. I can't remember the other band. They made a song, my dad recognized it. There was all sorts of western sounds, the riffs, classic song moments, the stings, it was amazing. It just gave everything this grand cinematic feeling. This episode felt important, and I know it's kind of cheesy and cliche in that essence, but it made it feel important. It reminded me a lot of stuff like Breaking Bad, where stuff is on a grander scale. The soundtrack almost turns the chaos into mythology. It almost immortalizes this show, and of course this show isn't doing it to the degree that Breaking Bad did it, because no one fucking can, but this isn't just random drama. This isn't just some random casual watching experience. I think with this season they set out to make it so it's not like that. This is the downfall phase. And getting into Cassie, obviously just going character by character. Weirdly enough, Cassie was a fucking riot this episode. You guys have seen my previous reviews. Make sure you go check out the playlist for that. I've been kind of a hater on Cassie and just this whole angle and just kind of the shock value of her becoming an OnlyFans model, selling her body, which inevitably seemed to be happening with this dumb blonde of a character. Sydney Sweeney, I love you, by the way. But I can't stand what they're doing with her character usually, but her pulling that stunt with the actor, Maddy supports it. I think that was a fun moment. There's them right there in the cover. It weirdly felt like old Euphoria again. It kind of had some high schoolgirl vibes in it, and they're giddy, they're gasping, they're jumping up and down. They were genuinely acting like that for a second, and I actually really enjoyed that. I think that was fun. I think it's not really a callback, but it's definitely kind of nostalgic and reminds you of where these characters came from. There's actual youthful energy. I think that's really awesome. And again, it's very fucked up to use a social media influencer, fuck him, go on a date, do all that stuff, hook up with him, and then post about yourself on social media as him. I still think it's fucking funny. I still think it's creative. Obviously, the darker side is was still getting to this character because Nate was basically relying on this lifestyle of hers to help pay off his debts, which indirectly leads to his death. But it does raise an interesting question. What's her reaction going to be? Now, obviously, we saw her wailing when she pulled up the body. Is this going to be for show? Like, does she feel like a weight's lifted off her shoulder? Did she really love Nate? Those are going to be questions. And obviously, they're going to have a grand 8th episode to kind of answer all of these questions. Did she really love Nate? Obviously, they got married and they felt like the life was going to be for each other, but we see this all the time in real life. People settle for things that look right, seem right, but is it really going to be right in the long term? Is this someone you're going to want to spend the rest of your life with? And I felt like even on the wedding night, besides the gangster stuff that was happening, besides them getting confronted by Nas, this just did not feel right. Her grief feels kind of hollow here. Traumatized, sure, but devastated, I don't fully buy it with her character. We'll have to see kind of what her character does in episode 8. Getting into Alamo and the crime world again, continuing to integrate this more and more into the show as we go on. It's only getting darker. It's only getting darker from here. The show is only highlighting that shit has consequences. And I still like Alamo as a character. I like his swagger. I like his cadence. I like the actor. He's doing great. He's a very good new addition. One of the better new additions to a show we've seen in some time. Probably since Max and Stranger Things. But as a person, no. This is absolutely a guy at this point. Now, throughout the season, I actually supported him. Like, I thought he was a badass. I thought he was a gangster. Some of the shit he was doing. But now that the show is kind of peeling back the layers of the onion and you're really seeing inside of him, it's like, this guy is a piece of shit. Now, obviously, no shit Sherlock. He's running strip clubs. He's laundering drugs. Yes, he's a bad fucking person. Ollie was a crack addict. He's not a bad person because of that. You know what I mean? The whole thing with trafficking girls while pretending they're getting BBLs and all this fake glamorous nonsense and championing these girls as strippers. It's just, no. At this point, he's just another manipulative pimp hiding behind charisma. And maybe they're doing this on purpose. Maybe they're trying to set it up as, we want you to hate this guy, so when we fucking cap his brains out, shoot him, kill him, however, if he dies next episode, if he goes or whatever, you're not going to miss him and you're going to celebrate it. Shows do that on purpose. Maybe they're doing that here. He's not some cowboy anti-hero to me anymore. He's just dangerous, and again, it is intentional, but we will have to see. And getting into Rue, this actually feels like the road to redemption for her character. I actually really like the arc that Rue has gone on in this episode, and maybe even like the end of last episode, because obviously we talked about the Joshua tree and how sentimental and how symbolic with the Bible, how it resonates with the readings of the Bible and the story of Moses, but also I was kind of weirded out by it. I didn't really know what to think. It felt kind of strange. It felt like an artistic choice by the show, but now you really understand it. Ollie being back in the fold, it gives the show some of that original emotional heart. Again, this is one of the most true to form Euphoria episodes we've gotten in these 7 episodes of the season. I honestly think her ending is going to end in either two ways. Like, they're really setting it up. She's either going to die at the hands of maybe a stray bullet from a DEA agent, maybe Laurie's gonna kill her, maybe Alamo's going to kill her, G or Bishop might kill her, Wayne might kill her, Faye might pull the trigger on her. She's getting herself in a shitty situation, or she might survive. She might get the help from the DEA. They have this whole deal going on, and they even show the DEA, like, they're really ramping this up. The DEA is gonna be there. They have some stuff under a floorboard or something, and they're gonna be there to seize it all. Becoming a sponsor community figure, the way Ollie became for her, would be something I wouldn't mind. Obviously, I don't want to talk too much about the ending because I'm just gonna let Sam Levinson cook. We literally have like less than a week until we get to see how the show ends, but I would like her to get a happy ending. I think Rue does deserve a happy ending. After all the turmoil, after everything her naive and innocent self has been thrown throughout the series, I think she low-key deserves a happy ending. I feel like that's the natural ending for Rue. Now again, I don't want the show to go in an expected direction, but it's probably going to. Nate dying has nothing to do with Rue, of course. That was just for them to show another example that this world comes with consequences. I do like the spiritual direction. Obviously, Rue sounds crazy. She's talking about Nazis to Lexi, and she's going on rants, and it was actually kind of creepy when Maddy was getting into the tub with Alamo and she started talking about the DEA. I thought Alamo was going to fully suspect that she's snitching with the DEA and fucking crash out on her or some shit. That was a crazy scene. But getting into kind of my finale expectations, there are so many things going into this finale. I mean, at this point, the finale needs to be huge. It needs to fucking go big or go home. That's what this season is really ramping up to be. It feels like Avengers Endgame. You have so many pieces. You have Laurie, Alamo, Wayne, the DEA, Rue, Maddy, Cassie, Ollie, Faye, all these different moving pieces. This could get really fucking messy. There's people from all places in the show, and honestly, that's what you want. You kind of want bloodshed. You kind of want drama. I don't know if Euphoria is going to get super gory. They've already proven to be kind of gory with like chopping people's toes off and stuff, but it's definitely going to need to be dramatic for it to sell for me. I just need the ending to make sense. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't try to be shocking just to be shocking. Please finish strong, Levinson and the guys. I have fucking belief in you. And just getting into my criticism, maybe this could be like a sort of bad section. The show still kind of neglects certain characters, I will admit. And if Jules isn't wasn't super important anymore and they kind of closed the book on her, it seemed. You couldn't give us something. Obviously, Hunter Schafer needs to be on screen. She's such an essential part of this series. Same with even Fez. The jail call stuff felt important earlier in the season and it was advertised as such, then it just disappeared. I get the unfortunate real world circumstances surrounding him and even Eric Dane, but still a little more closure would help, and I do think they have the material. So let's get into the review. So kind of getting into the outro, kind of my core thought. Episode 7 finally made the season feel dangerous for real. Like, this is where there's consequences. Characters are starting to die, and that's what audiences want. Now, you don't want bloodshed on a drama. Obviously, we like all of these different characters and all their different personalities, but now all that matters is whether Euphoria can actually stick the landing, and we will get to that when we get to episode 8. I don't want to dive too deep into that. My predictions, speculations, I'm sure you can go on a Reddit forum or something and find that. The finish line is right fucking here for this show, and this episode really signifies that. This really peaks the light at the end of the tunnel, like, oh my god, we're actually reaching an ending here. I really hope they don't mess it up. We're gonna have to see. There's a lot of stuff going on. I don't really know what else to say. Rue, I hope she finds like some salvation. I hope she lives out her life. You know, her mother's praying for her. She has a pretty good support system. She has her sister. She has all these people that are kind of in support. And it'll be awesome to see if they actually close out some of these characters. Will Maddy be some crazy Broadway gal? Will Lexi end up making it big in Hollywood as like a writer slash director type of thing? Will Cassie be one of the biggest OnlyFans models, like a Sophie Rand of the world? We'll have to fucking see. Obviously, will Rue become like a model citizen? What will happen with Jules? I don't know. Will she be in the last episode? I'm sure people are fucking pissed at her exclusion from here, but I know I didn't really get into every last bit of this episode. I didn't even really talk about Maddy. I probably should have, but that's alright. We can kind of leave it off at there. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. As always, it has been your boy GZTV. We've covered the last 7 episodes now of this series, and we don't plan on stopping soon. There's a big time fucking finale coming up. Please make sure you follow the socials for all the updates, all that type of stuff. Post content everywhere, baby. Peace.